Hello everyone. Today I am going to be doing a video about the Heptameron. What is the Heptameron, you may ask? Well, the Heptameron is a grimoire found in Pseudo-Agrippa's fourth book of occult philosophy, and is probably well over 500 years old. It was said to be written by a man named Pietro de Urbano. I'll talk a little bit more about him later. The Heptameron is incredibly similar and almost word for word to the other popular grimoires of the times, such as the Lemegeton, also known as the Lesser Key of Solomon, or the Grimoire of Pope Honorius, and those are just to name a few. After studying the Heptameron in depth, what amazes me most about the book is its incredible flexibility. It's a lot like your typical Renaissance grimoire, with the exception that it contains appendices at the back which are filled with angelology. You'll find invocations to the 7 archangels, as well as their sigils, so with a little ingenuity one can easily use the book for angelic or goetic magic, which is really nice because with some of the other grimoires you don't get that option. You kind of have to pick one or the other. The Heptameron is very much like a cookbook of ceremonial magic, and is one of the most practical of the old grimoires. It doesn't require anything absolutely ridiculous like the blood from a black cock that's never strode a hen, a million types of knives, hundreds of dollars worth of things made of gold, or anything else that might be nearly impossible to find, or perhaps unethical to obtain, or illegal for that matter, or anything really that's just simply disgusting. The word Heptameron is Greek, and meaning 7 days. The book comes in 2 parts. In the front contains all of the benedictions and instructions on how to prepare for the ritual and how to consecrate the tools, as well as the main ritual itself. But at the back, you'll find 7 appendices, 1 for each day. And these tell you how the ritual is to be altered to be a custom fit for the day and hour you're going to perform it in. Now more on Pietro de Urbano. Pietro de Urbano was a man who lived from 1250 CE to 1316 CE. He was an astrologer, philosopher, and a professor of medicine in Padua, Italy. He was indicted and taken to trial twice by the Inquisition for charges of magic, and he was even rumored to possess the Philosopher's Stone. He was acquitted the first time, but found guilty the second time. Fortunately for him, he passed away from old age before the end of the trial. The Inquisition had his body exhumed and found his body had been secretly moved to another location. They were so insistent that he needed to be punished, whether dead or alive, or even absent, that they ended up publicly burning an effigy of him instead. We know that Dr. John Dee owned a copy of the Heptameron in his library, which means a lot to me. I'm a big fan of his work. He's a great magical role model. He studied the Heptameron. We're pretty sure he used it, and that it was highly important to the development of the Enochian system. And I think it would make a great framework to use Enochian in. I always got the impression that Enochiana was delivered in bits and pieces that was only lacking a framework, a core to put the pieces around. I believe that this was done on purpose by the angels because it's the study of it, the having to write your own rituals, finding your own foundation that makes the Enochian work so personal, and why it seems to zip to and integrate itself to your individual psychology. But that's a topic for another video. I have picked a selection that I'm going to read from the Heptameron, and this is my personal copy of the book. This is the fourth book of occult philosophy. Is actually a collection of different writings, and it's got other things in here besides the Heptameron, so you're really getting a lot of good stuff with this. And it's also contained, the Heptameron was originally written in Latin, and so it contains the Latin as well as the English translation right next to it, which is really nice. I'm going to read the entry for the day of Wednesday, which is ruled by Mercury and the angel Raphael. And here's the appendix for Wednesday. As you can see, we've got Raphael's sigil right here, as well as the planet Mercury, which he rules over, and the two signs which Mercury rules over, Gemini and Virgo, as well as the heaven that he rules in, Raquiae. And I'm going to read a little bit about, it also has other things, like it tells you which angels, tells you which angels rule in what day and in what quarter of the world. And that also changes from day to day. This is about the spirits of the air of Wednesday and what their particular powers are and why you would evoke them. The spirits of the air of Wednesday are subject to the southwest wind. Their nature is to give metals, to reveal all earthly things, past, present, and to come, to pacify judges, to give victories in war, to re-edify, and teach experiments and all decayed sciences, and to change bodies mixed of elements conditionally out of one into another, to give infirmities or health, to raise the poor and cast down the high ones, to bind or loose spirits, to open locks or bolts. Such kind of spirits have the operation of others, but not in their perfect power, but in virtue of knowledge. But in virtue or knowledge. In what matter they appear, it is before spoken. The only thing that didn't sit right with me about the Heptameron, and most of the Solomonic school of magic, is how badly the entities you call are treated. I just don't understand how you call something, but then threaten he, she, or it before it even shows up. That's not doing unto others. For example, let's say I'm really hungry, so I decide to order pizza. I call up the restaurant, and I swear and threaten the delivery man. I tell him how I'm going to call his boss and get him fired, depriving him of his office joy and place. And if he doesn't get my pizza just the way I want it and on time, he's not really going to want to come. And after he's taken his sweet time getting to my house, chances are he's not going to be nice to me when he gets there. And I'll bet he probably spit in my breadsticks too. And then, because I'm an asshole in this example, I won't tip him well, or at all, perhaps. Spirits are no different. That's why I believe so many people have problems with goetics. They treat them badly and threaten them, and of course they're going to stall when coming, and they're going to find a hole to screw you with. That sounded better in my head. But you know what I mean. They're going to find that loophole then to kind of screw you over, just like anything. If you go to a restaurant and swear at the waiter, he's going to spit in your food in the back. And if you're ever trying to get someone to do work for you, you want to treat them properly and have an honest business transaction. I know of some people who say, oh, well, just because this being that I summoned is a demon, that it's okay for me to treat it like shit and then not give anything back afterwards. And that's just bad juju. You're asking for bad stuff to happen. So unless an entity is giving you a reason not to treat it well, be nice to them and treat them with respect. They'll work better for you and they'll be more pleasant. And then pay them when you're done. It's just the golden rule. I performed the ritual from the Heptameron once, and it wasn't very successful because I was trying to follow the Grimoire to the letter at the expense of the art. But I'm going to have a video on that sometime soon, which will probably go with a book review of Joseph C. Wasowski's Ceremonial Magic. And that concludes this video. If you'd like to check out the Heptameron for yourself, you can find it in printed form at your local occult shop or Amazon.com. Or you can also find it online in PDF form for free. As always, if you have any questions or comments, please write me a letter or leave me a comment. And thanks very much for watching. Bye.